Okay, I'd like to call to order the Charter Township of Oxford Board of Trustees regular meeting. The start time tonight for June 14th, 2023 is 6 p.m. Would we all please rise and pay respects to the flag?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Could we note the roll, please?
Noted. There is a quorum.
Thank you. Approval of the agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
Second.
I have a motion by Treasurer Ferrari, a second by Trustee Noel. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, hearing none. Item 5, the purpose to open session. We're going to meet in open session to entertain a motion and take roll call vote, 2/3 majority needed, regarding calling a closed session for the following purposes. To consider a confidential legal opinion in accordance with MCL 15.268, parents H.
Would that be good enough as a motion? Can I second that? And that'll be a good motion to go into closed session?
Yep.
I'll second Supervisor Curtis's motion.
Okay, motion by Supervisor Curtis, a second by Treasurer Ferrari. Roll call, please.
Clerk Wright, yes. Supervisor Curtis?
Yes.
Treasurer Ferrari?
Yes.
Trustee Noel?
Yes.
Trustee Payne?
Yes.
And Trustee Colvin?
Yes.
Okay, so we are going into closed session. We asked that the members of the audience, the cameraman person. Okay, I'd like to go back to item number 5.
I'd like to make a motion to authorize the Kelly Law Firm to follow up with what was discussed in closed session.
Second.
A motion by Treasurer Ferrari, a second by Trustee Payne. Any questions? Hearing none, roll call.
Supervisor Curtis?
Yes.
Clerk Wright, yes. Treasurer Ferrari?
Yes.
Trustee Noel?
Yes.
Trustee Payne?
Yes.
And Trustee Colvin?
Yes.
Item number 6, approval of the consent agenda.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the consent agenda with one correction. Sharp invoice number 2238, we charged to account number 239, 807, 821.000.
What was the number of that invoice?
2238.
Second the motion.
I have a motion by Treasurer Ferrari and a second by Clerk Wright. Roll call, please, or any questions? Seeing none, roll call.
Trustee Payne?
Yes.
Trustee Noel?
Yes.
Treasurer Ferrari?
Yes.
Clerk Wright, yes. Trustee Colvin?
Yes.
And Supervisor Curtis?
Yes. Item number 7, presentation, the 2022 audited financial report. Raina Emmons, PSLZ, CPAs.
Good evening. Nice
Good
to
evening.
see everyone. It's my pleasure once again to present to you the Charter Township of Oxford's annual audited financial statements for the fiscal year ended December 31st, 22. Once again, I'll start out with some highlights, and at the end, I'm happy to address any questions the board may have.
Thank you.
This year, the general fund added $1.8 million to the general fund balance. We had a property taxes increased, of course you didn't increase the millage, it was all taxable value increase at about 2.26%. The year before that was about 3.73%. So nice increases with taxable value. Also, state shared revenue, a big part of the story this year. A significant jump. Usually we're bumping along at 1-2% increase in state shared revenue, but this year, in the fiscal year 22, the township received the census adjustment from the state. And they did it retroactive to 2020. So in April of 2022, we received a nice 2-year census adjustment. Basically, township did, of course, had a population increase, which adjusted your formula up, and you got a nice increase in, over $500,000 in state shared revenue that you would not have otherwise had. Also, a nice part of the, a big positive here, interest income, which was lagging for so many years. This year we saw a significant increase. Just as an example, we were $130,000 in interest income the year before, township-wide. This year, we're at 241,000. So that's an 85% increase. That's an additional $110,000. You can thank Treasurer Ferrari for that. He's done a really nice job of keeping track of the investments, keeping an eye on things, sound investments. We're not in anything crazy here, of course, following the investment policy of the township, but he did a really nice job with that. Transfers out by the general fund had significant transfers out, $24,000 to the fire fund, $85,000 to the cemetery maintenance fund last year, and also $56,000 to the safety path fund. The water and sewer fund so both the water and sewer fund did have operating losses this past year. That is after depreciation. But something I still want you to look at. Also the township received $119,000 less in connection fees. Again, based on development within the township comparing it from 21 to 22. So that went down slightly. You paid down $495,000 in bond debt for the water, and you paid down $234,000 in the Oakland-Macomb interceptor debt. Now that's another significant point I'd just like you to keep an eye on. The Oakland-Macomb interceptor debt, of course, the township doesn't have a lot of control on that because that's at the county level. Their township has received word that there are significant bonds coming down the way, so within the next, 3 to 5 years, I believe, maybe 3 years. It doesn't seem like it was that far away. They've got significant bonding. I know the township's been looking at that, but you may need to watch the sewer fund to see if you need any rate increases or possible debt service charges just to cover that Oklahoma interceptor debt. Moving on to the pension plan, the defined benefit pension plan for the fire department is 88% funded this year, up from 79% the prior year.
Could you say that number again, please?
88% funded.
It's pretty good, isn't it?
It's a very big jump from 79% as well. The in this audit, you had net investment gain in the pension trust fund of $840,000, which is significant. The year before, you had net investment gain of $651,000. So some nice returns in there. However, so this is based on December 31st, 21 valuation. We haven't even received the 22 valuation yet from MERS, but we're anticipating not a net investment loss because of the stock market. It's valued as a 12/31/22, so not a good day in the market. But that's for next year. So the net pension liability, which is the total liability minus the assets you have set aside in trust, is $973,000, down from $1.5 million the year before. So significant in a positive direction on that. And the net OPEB liability, your other post-employment benefit liability, thanks to Clerk Wright, we were able to obtain, we were able to get the actuarial report a little faster. So we're always a year in arrears. For example, we're usually using the 2021 actuarial when we report the OPEB liability. This year he was able to get 2022, and I think going forward he's going to be able to keep that, stay on them and get more accurate information. And because the 2022 number was much better than the 2021 number, you're definitely moving in a positive direction. We are reporting on the 2022, so if you see restatement in there, that's just meaning that we went from 2020 and we jumped right to 2022 in your valuation. Net OPEB liability, $310,000. So with that, if anyone has any questions, is there anything else you'd like me to cover?
Board members, do you have any questions for Raina? Captain, Margie, John, Joe, Greg? I have none either.
I move to receive and file the Charter Township of Oxford Audit Financial Report for the fiscal year ended December 31st, 2022 as presented.
Second. I have a motion by Treasurer Ferrari, a second by Trustee Noel. Any questions or comments? Seeing none, roll call.
Treasurer Ferrari.
Yes.
Trustee Noel.
Yes.
Trustee Payne.
Yes.
Trustee Colvin.
Yes.
Supervisor Curtis.
Yes.
Clerk Wright, yes.
Thank you.
Very much. This has to be turned in
Before June 30th.
June 30th. So today's the 14th, we got 16 days.
I work with Treasurer Ferrari, and because we both have reports, it's multiple reports that we have to send in, so we work in tandem.
Super, thank you, Raina. Item number 8, public comment on items not on the agenda. So if you have a public comment for any item that's not on the agenda, we'd entertain coming up to the mic and speaking to the board. Seeing none. Item number 9A, public hearing, to consider the establishment of a special assessment district to eradicate and control aquatic weeds in Paint Lake Canal.
I move to open the public hearing at 6:42 p.m. to discuss the establishment of a Paint Lake Canal Special Assessment District, to hear objections to the special assessment roll, to correct any errors on the special assessment roll.
Second the motion.
I have a motion by Treasurer Ferrari, a second by Clerk Wright. Are there any questions? Roll call.
Clerk Wright, yes. Treasurer Ferrari.
Yes.
Supervisor Curtis.
Yes.
Trustee Noel.
Yes.
Trustee Colvin.
Yes.
Trustee Payne.
Yes.
Okay, any members of the public wish to speak on the special assessment district for eradicating aquatic weeds in Paint Lake?
I move to close the public hearing to discuss the establishment of Paint Lake Canal Special Assessment District, to hear objections to the special assessment roll, to correct any errors on the special assessment roll at 6:43 p.m.
Second. I have a motion by Treasurer Ferrari, a second by Trustee Noel. Any questions? Seeing none, roll call.
Trustee Colvin.
Yes.
Trustee Payne.
Yes.
Trustee Noel.
Yes.
Treasurer Ferrari.
Yes.
Supervisor Curtis.
Yes.
Clerk Wright, yes.
Okay, item 10, second reading. A, zoning ordinance 67A at 031. Amendments to the zoning ordinance to authorize existing medical marijuana retail facilities to operate as adult use marijuana retailers. Board members, in your packet was all the explanations. This is the second reading. We've had numerous debates on what's going on. We have an amended ordinance in the packet. Are there any questions from the board members? Seeing none, I move to approve the second reading of the amendments to the Oxford Charter Township zoning ordinance 67A, sections 2.2, 3.4, parent 0, 3.5, parent J, and 5.35, parent A through D, and direct township clerk to publish said ordinance in accordance with state law.
Second.
Motion by Supervisor Curtis, a second by Trustee Noel. Are there any questions? Roll call, please.
Trustee Colvin.
Yes.
Trustee Payne.
Yes.
Trustee Noel.
Yes.
Treasurer Ferrari.
No.
Clerk Wright, no. Supervisor Curtis.
Yes. Okay, moving on. If any members here want to leave the room for that item, would take a few minutes to clear out. Thank you.
Everybody was happy apparently.
Item 11, A, Fire Department. Chief, you wanna?
We have nothing formal on the agenda tonight, but to keep you all posted that we did begin working with Treasurer Ferrari and Clerk Wright on evaluating where our millage is going to be for next year and how we're going to be looking at trying to solve our financial issues that are related to all the inflation that we've had. And we've been put in contact now with Ms. Emmons, and we'll be kind of trying to coordinate and work to make sure that we do the best thing we can from a financial standpoint and be fiscally sound with what the budget, or what the millage will look like next year's, for next year's general election. Other than that, nothing from us tonight.
Any questions, board members of the chief? Seeing none, thanks, chief. Item 12, Sharp Engineering Report. Board members, if you have questions of Engineer Sharp, I'll bring them up. If not, in your package was included his report out, very concise. I just want to know where my pump approval is. And I want to know where my bore approval is.
Eagle and MDOT.
We're on the phone tomorrow. No other questions for Engineer Sharp? Thank you. Item 13, unfinished business. Paint, formerly known as SQUA, Lake Canal Special Assessment District request, resolution number 4. Clerk Wright?
This is the last step in the special assessment district process for establishing the Paint Lake Canal. And there's a resolution in your packet for approval. What this does is approves the confirming of the special assessment role and to proceed with the special assessment district. And assess the cost of the district's properties within the Paint Lake Canal Special Assessment District. For those that may be curious, the photo's not that good, but here is a photo of where Paint Lake Canal is. It's between Harwood and Squaw Lagoon, right off Sanders Road. There's a 20-lot SAD that will be established to eradicate and control weeds in Paint Lake Canal.
I move to approve resolution number 4, approve the special assessment role for Paint Lake Canal Special Assessment District, and the special assessment role attached as Exhibit 1 to the resolution number 4, to implement an aquatic weed control special assessment district program for Paint Lake Canal.
Second. I have a motion by Treasurer Ferrari, a second by Trustee Noel. Any questions or comments? Seeing none, roll call.
Treasurer Ferrari.
Yes.
Clerk Wright, yes. Trustee Noel.
Yes.
Trustee Colvin.
Yes.
Supervisor Curtis.
Yes.
And Trustee Payne.
Yes.
Item number 14, new business. 14A, CDBG resolution. Treasurer Ferrari.
Board members, every couple of years, CDBG wants to have our acknowledgement to continue participating with the program, and this is that motion as well. I'll make a motion that the Oxford Township Board of Trustees resolves to adopt into Oakland County's Urban County Community Development Block Grant CDBG programs for the program years 2024, 2025, and 2026. Furthermore, Oxford Township resolves to remain in Oakland County's Urban County Community Development programs, which shall be automatically renewed in successive 3-year qualification periods of time, or until such time that it is in the best interest of Oxford Township to terminate the cooperative agreement.
Second.
I have a motion by Treasurer Ferrari, a second by Trustee Payne. Are there any questions or comments? Seeing none, roll call.
Clerk Wright, yes. Treasurer Ferrari.
Yes.
Trustee Payne.
Yes.
Trustee Colvin.
Yes.
Trustee Noel.
Yes.
And Supervisor Curtis.
Yes. Item 14B, parking lot bid award. Supervisor Curtis gets this one. Board members, 7 bids were received for the parking lot improvements at the township. Attached in your packet was the Sharp Engineering summary letter, the bid result sheet, and the parking lot improvement plans. If this board is in favor, the following motion is offered for consideration. I move to award the Oxford Township Parking Lot Improvements Project to True North Asphalt LLC in the base bid price of $134,935. This $134,935 amount to be expensed to general fund account 101-265-976.000 Township Building Additions and Improvements.
Second.
A motion by Supervisor Curtis, a second by Treasurer Ferrari. Are there any questions? Seeing none, roll call.
Trustee Colvin.
Yes.
Trustee Payne.
Yes.
Trustee Noel.
Yes.
Treasurer Ferrari.
Yes.
Supervisor Curtis.
Yes.
Clerk Wright, yes.
Item 14C, proposed zoning map amendment for parcel 04-21 4-200-200-002 and 04-21-200-005. Trustee Noel.
Board members, the planning commission unanimously voted not to recommend approval of the conditional rezoning requested to the board of trustees. So I move to deny the conditional rezoning from C1 local commercial to RM multifamily for parcel number 0421200002 and 0421200005, based upon a finding that the applicant does not meet factors relevant to the petition pursuant to section 18.3 of the Township zoning ordinance.
Second.
I have a motion by Trustee Noel and a second by Treasurer Ferrari. Board members, are there any questions? Seeing none, roll call.
Motion is to deny?
Tonight, yeah.
Deny, okay. Clerk Wright, yes. Treasurer Ferrari?
Yes.
Supervisor Curtis?
Yes.
Trustee Colvin?
Yes.
Trustee Payne?
Yes.
And Trustee Noel?
Yes.
Item number 14D, July 3rd, 2023, Township closure. Board members, it was brought to our attention that the office is open on Monday, July the 3rd, with the holiday being July 4th. A lot of conversation between other townships in the village, making a 4-day weekend for the employees in the township. Closing the office on July 3rd and paying the employees for the day. It was not brought up in the original holiday schedule, and at this time we're asking that we allow the employees to take Monday off with pay.
I move to adopt a resolution related to the suspension of business hours of operation, July 3rd of calendar year 2023. Authorize the clerk to file the same.
Second.
I have a motion by Treasurer Ferrari, a second by Trustee Noel. Are there any questions? Seeing none, roll call.
Treasurer Ferrari?
Yes.
Clerk Wright, yes. Trustee Colvin?
Yes.
Trustee Noel?
Yes.
Supervisor Curtis?
Yes.
And Trustee Payne?
Yes.
Supervisor Curtis, can we make a note to look at that for next year?
Oh, yeah,
Because it's a Thursday, Friday for next year.
Yeah.
yes.
Thank you.
Item 14E, Development Agreement Waiver for 411 North Oxford Road. Clerk Wright?
Yeah, this is a recommendation from the Planning Commission to waive the development agreement process because the property already exists. Usually a development agreement is for a proposed development, so therefore the Planning Commission has recommended waiving the requirement for the applicant to provide a development agreement.
I move to waive the requirement to provide a development agreement for the property located at 411 North Oxford Road as authorized in section 16.19C, the Oxford Township zoning ordinance 67A.
Second.
I have a motion by Treasurer Ferrari, a second by Trustee Noel. Are there any questions? I hope you all drove by there and saw it. It's pretty good looking, like skeleton bones there. Roll call, please.
Clerk Wright, yes. Supervisor Curtis?
Yes.
Trustee Noel?
Yes.
Treasurer Ferrari?
Yes.
Trustee Payne?
Yes.
And Trustee Colvin?
Yes.
Okay, item 14F, Safety Path Committee action items. Treasurer Ferrari.
Board members, the first action item for you is the acquisition of the Chase Bank easement. We have to compensate them for the easement when they went a couple of years ago, paid us for the not putting in the safety path. So we're trying to get this done now, create that full loop from Ray Road all the way down 24.
Okay.
I'll make a motion the Oxford Township Board of Trustees purchases a permanent easement for safety path, JP Morgan Chase Bank, P 0422200021, as presented in the amount of $3,676. These funds are to be expensed from 297-852-971.001.
Second with a question.
I have a motion by Treasurer Ferrari. I have a second by Trustee Noel. Trustee Noel, what's your question?
Is that the same amount of money that they paid us?
Now, if you take a look at the next motion, you're looking at changing our in lieu of agreements, they paid us less.
Yes, and that is noted, we're
That's
looking
why we're
at that.
changing the agreement. Excellent.
Yes. All right,
Thank you.
no other questions, roll call?
Trustee Colvin.
Yes.
Trustee Payne.
Yes.
Trustee Noel.
Yes.
Supervisor Curtis.
Yes.
Clerk Wright, yes, and Treasurer Ferrari.
Yes.
I was reading something else. Go ahead, Joe. with,
The second one, I think what Trustee Nolan said, is basically what we should have done, and Clerk Wright, kudos to you, sir. You brought up to us that when we do the cash in lieu of agreements for safety pass, as part of it, we should also have a deed over the easement, so in case something like this happens in the future, we wouldn't have had to buy it back. We would have been, already had the easement, and could have, what we need to do for the safety pass. But we didn't include it, so we're gonna hopefully change that. I'll make the motion, the Oxford Township Board of Trustees requires that all future township safety path, cash and lieu agreements also include language that dedicates the proposed easement to the Charter Township of Oxford as part of this process.
Second?
I have a motion by Treasurer Ferrari, a second by Trustee Noel. Roll call.
Treasurer Ferrari.
Yes.
Clerk Wright, yes. Trustee Payne.
Yes.
Trustee Colvin.
Yes.
Trustee Noel.
Yes.
Supervisor Curtis.
Yes. Okay, 14F, Joe.
Hey, board members, we have a new project. Well, I know it's kind of an old project. It's been around for quite a while. We have all these considered necessary. We're asking for the board's approval to continue with the safety path on Lakeville Road from Chicken Pin Road to Bar Road, and get the design and send it out for bids, and then for that to become back to the township board to possibly award a bid.
Second?
Go, let me try that. Motion that the Oxford Township Board of Trustees authorizes Sharp Engineering to proceed with the final engineering and design of the Lakeville Road safety path from Chickapin Road to Bar Road. Once that has been finalized, Sharp Engineering is authorized to send this project out for bids, and then to return to the Oxford Township Board of Trustees with a bid tabulation and recommendation. These funds are to be expensed to the safety path fund.
Second?
Very good now. I have a motion by Treasurer Ferrari, a second by Trustee Noel. Are there any questions? Seeing none, roll call.
Trustee Colvin.
Yes.
Trustee Payne.
No.
Trustee Noel.
Yes.
Treasurer Ferrari.
Yes.
Supervisor Curtis.
Yes.
Clerk Wright, yes.
Okay, item 15, we removed no items from the consent agenda. We did alter the one invoice for the account number to be charged. Okay, item number 16, public comment. At this time, we'll address any members of the public that may have a comment to the board. We give 3 minutes time to each member who has a comment from the public. Is there anybody in the public that would like to make a comment? Yes, Ms. Keynes.
Good evening and happy Flag Day. Thank you for hearing me out. I know I just have 3 minutes and you've heard me talk about this probably umpteen times, but I wanted to refer back to item number 10, the second reading of the ordinance. And I just wanted to express a concern I have in regards to how the procedure took place for the medical and recreational marijuana facilities being approved and developed here in the township. Months ago, the 3 retailers that were designed for medical marijuana only came before you and said that they couldn't survive unless the adult recreational marijuana was added to their mission. And at that time, it was approved. However, this ordinance was, with the language that supports that decision, was just approved minutes ago. So I have a concern when we have an ordinance in place and a decision for an approval takes place prior to the ordinance being changed. It's almost putting the cart before the horse. And I realize that, ordinances are written and they need to be modernized and they need to be changed. And I've not been a supporter of the marijuana, medical or recreational from the get-go. You've heard me speak on it umpteen times. And the 2 retailers that are south of Drainer Road are more in a commercial area. But the ordinance was written to protect residents from having these kind of facilities in areas that might impact them negatively, unfavorably. And I do believe the one that's in the old McDonald's location does that. I know they just began to recently develop and they're moving quite rapidly along. But that's some residents live there, and that's their backyards. And my Waterstone community, where I reside, is also in that backyard. And then there's the hospital, the McLaren, which is spending, what, $1 billion? We just did the ribbon cutting ceremony for them to update that, make a wonderful facility. And there's a school there. And I really am disheartened by having that type of a business located in that area. Because if you recall, what it was about 1.5 years, maybe 2 years ago, when the residents were asked whether they supported the marijuana, whether it be medical or recreational, come into Oxford Township, we were told it was going to be in industrial areas. It wasn't going to be in our backyard. It wasn't going to be on Main Street. Well, they're all off Lapeer Road, which is kind of Main Street. It might be not Oxford Village, literally Washington Street, Main Street. But the one at the McDonald's location is quite close to our backyard and quite close to the downtown village. So I just felt like I needed to take my 3 minutes and express that to you here this evening. I know it's after the fact, overdone with, let's move on. But I'm concerned that this type of process might rear its head on another important issue where approval is given and then the ordinance is approved later on it to support that. Thank you and have a good evening.
Anyone else in the public wish to speak? Yes, sir, come on up.
My name is Greg Graham. I live 821 Cross Circle. I just wanted to thank the board and the Planning Commission for their due diligence in protecting our place of where we live and ensuring that whatever goes into that site, whether it be residential or commercial, is going to be a good fit for our neighborhood, and you've done that, in my opinion, so thank you very much for that work.
Any other members of the audience would like to come up and speak? Seeing none, Board of Trustee comments. I'm going to start with Trustee Colvin tonight.
Just want to thank everyone for coming in and everybody expressing their opinions. I always appreciate hearing from the public. And happy Flag Day. I didn't even know it was Flag Day, but happy Flag Day.
I have nothing.
Trustee.
I'm very happy to see some work on Drainer Road. Repaving.
Me too.
All right.
I'd like to congratulate the clerk's office and the treasurer's office for another outstanding audit report. I would like to thank them for all their hard work that they do on behalf of the township.
Okay, Clerk Wright?
I have 2 items. Number one, there's a tri-county broadband survey that's out there, and they need a little bit of publicity on this. What it is, it's looking to see where broadband service can accommodate little or no broadband service available in Oxford Township. We got a lot of dead cells out in the northeast part of the township. So that's something that, if I can get the Oxford Reader to do maybe a small article or maybe do it on our Facebook page. But in a nutshell, it's a survey by Merit Network to distribute a short broadband survey for residents because current coverage maps do not accurately portray broadband access, speed, and reliability. It's important for those things to be known since there are upcoming federal funding opportunities to help update infrastructure. So I've had some conversations with Spectrum on this, and they are leading the charge to try to get monies to actually supply broadband up in these areas if the monies are awarded. So I'm going to see if I can talk to the Oxford Leader and maybe CDA tomorrow and see if I can get some publicity. But if you have any needs to assist in this survey, you can contact me or get a hold of Oakland County. They might be able to give you some information as well. So any help would be appreciated, especially for those that probably don't have broadband in Oxford Township. There's probably a couple hundred people that qualify for this. The other item I want to bring up is elections. The Clerk's Department went down and met with Oakland County officials earlier this month, and what we're looking at is because of legislation that's changed the election process, the 9-day early voting constitutional amendment that went into effect, we're going to opt in and do a regional polling location. And right now that polling location is proposed for the Orion Township Hall. We are looking at combining the regional area with Addison, Oxford, and Orion Townships. And one of the big reasons is I don't have facilities available to accommodate a 9-day consecutive early voting area. And number two is it needs to be public facilities. So right now I have 3 precincts located in churches, and that's really not conducive. And I don't have any other places that would service Oxford Township. And in addition, it would be additional employees, additional machines that would be necessary, and additional locations. So the cost is definitely to the advantage of Oxford Township to move forward. The county clerk, Lisa Brown, has bought into this to assist other clerks, so I just want to bring that to your attention, Township Board, and the audience members that are here, that this is something that we'll probably see an agreement come to the Township Board in August to approve a consortium of 3 communities forming a regional area for early voting. Thank you.
That's it. I have a few. Number one, I'm going to thank more than just the treasurer and the clerk. I'd like to thank everybody in our township hall, township offices. We recently held a mock election, a mock bill payment for the treasury, and a mock building permit pulling for the 2nd graders at Clear Lake. It was kind of really neat to see the kids running in here and voting and paying bills. They got a birdhouse from Home Depot to build, but each and every department in the township worked hard to put on this experience for approximately 100 2nd graders, and they colored a card in for everybody thanking them. We all work together. There's a change in this group from years ago. Treasurer Ferrari, we work together on beating up this interest rate and getting better investments. Clerk Wright, we work hard. All of the trustees are on committees that are trying to do right for this community. But all in all, I think we're farther ahead today than we were years ago with the growing community we have. Secondly, preliminary plans have been received for the addition, build out in the sheriff's substation. As you know, you approved some architectural renderings to see what we can do with what we have downstairs. We are going to meet with the architect and review those preliminary plans to make sure we're getting the biggest bang for our buck, not only for now, but for the future. And why I talk about the future is we are looking to add 3 positions in the substation here in Oxford Township. In order to retain the positive police protection that Oxford Township provides 23,000 people, we are currently 3 below the SEMCOG, FBI, and Michigan State Police data for officers needed in our area to preserve. These ladies and gentlemen are busting their hinds to keep up with the influx of people, and we need to make sure that we support them with the people they need, and the sheriff gives them all the equipment, and we don't have to maintain it, we don't have to worry about it, we just get it, and we're afforded it. So we are looking to add 3 positions in that substation over this next year. Other than that, I thank everybody for coming, and I look for a motion.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
I have a motion by Treasurer Ferrari, a second by Trustee Payne. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed? You can stay by yourself. Hearing none. Thank you.